What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, taking another look at the new Onomat support. So, I did make a mistake in the first one. It was the Ryzial monsters that I searched for. The one that searches can only search if there is only level or rank 4 monsters on the board. And so with F-Zero, that's not possible. But there's a very easy workaround. And at the end of the day, it makes a pretty small difference, all things considered. So I'm going to show a few, not like combos necessarily, but I guess they are at the end of the day. But, what do hand traps do? Like, what does your end board look like when some very common hand traps are sent your way? So here's two: Effect Veiler and Imperm. I, I feel like I chose to use them at a fairly reasonable time. Like, if you were playing against someone, they would probably think the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Gaga Gaga Girl. Considering that this can search you onomatopoeia, I feel like in this situation definitely would have used effect veiler here. So that's the first interruption. That search is still going to go through, and now I can go for pickup. So discarding whatever. I use the new Go 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 monster instead of this one, but again, at the end of the day, it ends up just being a level 4 that I grab. And this summons from the deck, so I kind of imagine like, okay, they would probably use imperm there too. Not every time, but this is just kind of like a generic example of like, what the deck can do when it's hit with hand traps, right? That was 2. So there goes F-Zero, obviously. I can bring back the coat, or the glove, excuse me, and then you do also get to search. I don't think I did this in the first one, the onomatopoeia. At first I was like, oh, I don't know if I should use this anymore, but it's a free search, and it's also like something you get to freely special summon, so it ends up being very much worth it. So the only thing I have to do now is just make sure that I don't, Ryzial lock myself before I use number 99. So of course, obviously I'm going to do that right now. So this is a new Ryzial that's coming out. It's Star Ryzial. I don't know if it's going to be actually called that, but it you just have to detach a material from an XYZ monster, and then it sets one. So again, it does the same thing. This is the same from last time. And then there goes Abyss Dweller. I can detach, right? I still have one more material, thankfully. And then, I can sacrifice this drive that I already used to bring back something else. That way I have one more interruption, or in this case, mini interruptions, right? Detonator is multiple pops. And it's cool, like that you can attach something like Warrior, because when it's attached, you get to search again. So I kind of a cool, actually kind of a cool interaction. So through 2 hand traps, like light hand traps, basically in this case, you can see obviously that this is pretty good. Okay, like, and I, during my opponent's turn, you could use number 99 again. Pretty decent, 2 imperm, or like an ash and an imperm, or effect veiler and an imperm, like it was here. Usually that's enough to stop a lot of decks, but yeah, there was so much tank left in the gas for this, so much gas left in the tank. Geez, that backwards. Okay, let me showcase a couple more. This is against Droll. This is the most awkward one, so there really isn't much to it, I suppose. And it also requires you to kind of lead with para if you have it in your hand. And I don't know if I would do that. You'd rather have them ash something with the warrior, which would probably be better, but and also you're just kind of locked, right? This really is very much unfortunate. I mean, there's tons of options that you can go into, but you can make 3 rank 4s. So I guess in your mind, imagine like what you think that would be and how that would be good. But you can get around obviously adding to the deck to a certain level. So there goes Abyss Dweller. I know blinding it's not the best, but I don't know. This is definitely one of the tougher ones. So yeah, so this is the new Gaga Ga monster, which is really great. And again, like it is pretty silly, and I guess there's probably better options, but yeah, Droll's like a huge one for this deck. But this is okay. I mean, you can choose whatever rank 4 you want. I mean, Abyss Dweller is probably one you're just always going to have in your deck, considering like how often graveyard effects are used. This is a monster negate, I suppose, and a spell and draft negate. This one against Nibiru is going to be much better, so you'll see you can kind of force it a little bit early before you commit too much, which is really nice. And this is where the new Gaga Ga monster comes in. So there goes the magician. Like I'm assuming, right, that I can just like keep going forward. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the para normal summon here, and this is where this card comes in. That becomes very important. I'm assuming if your opponent had Nibiru, they would wait. Maybe they would go to the next one, like when F-Zero comes out, I suppose. But it doesn't matter either way because the Gaga Ga Magician. I think that's what it's called. They all have silly names. It brings back an XYZ monster, so you could just bring back F-Zero. Doesn't really make that much of a difference. So you force your opponent to use Nibiru, right? Because otherwise you're going to have that negate. I can bring this back, and now I can go into F-Zero. So I can special summon here. You know, now, I mean, obviously, if you had other hand traps, you probably would have used them by now. But, you know, obviously, this is good for next turn. I mean, this is pretty good, like, in all things considered, you know, because I searched the counter trap before this. And I'm going to have the Detonator, F-Zero, Abyss Dweller, and Omni Negate. And then this is a pop. So tons of pops, no graveyard effects. Do have that one monster negate, and then I have everything else. I would say this is pretty decent, like, through Nibiru for sure. And I think this puts things into perspective too. Like, it really doesn't take that much for my opponent to like go off here, uh, or for like me to go off. You know, like he has the one hand trap, and you know that's why you're playing Ash Blossom, obviously. And now like my turn is unimpeded. I could have also used Crossout Designator for this, but I figured like, oh, what if he has Nibiru or something? Like this doesn't actually. Well, I mean, yeah, you know, the answering with Ash is just objectively so much better. And then after this, you simply just go full combo at this point because now you feel super protected. Any other hand traps, like he's cooked, and then you know he's just gonna end up scooping here, which is really nice. I would have put up an insane end board. So let's go ahead and take a look at the deck profile. I mean, I'm pretty happy with where it's at, all things considered. Tons of hand traps. So you're running 14, so 3 Ash, 3 of the Fuwalo, so, you know, this is kind of like the new Maxi, I suppose. 3 Imperm, 2 Nibiru, and 3 Effect Veiler. So, tons of going second cards, obviously. 3 copies of the Dodo Warrior. 3 copies of the new Goblin Dirg. So, these are all like 1.5, you know, full combo starters, which is really nice. And now you have 12 of them. So that's pretty good. I don't know. I almost feel like Small World should be put in here somewhere, but I don't know. It's fairly consistent for the most part. 1 copy of the glove, 1 copy of coat, 1 copy of Go 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 Gigas. This is like the main target to bring back with Goblin Dirg. This is the, you know, Ga Knight, the one that freely special summons itself from the hand. 1 copy Bonomonopoeia. So especially like if you see these 2 cards together, like you want to be able to search something with this, and this is like basically the only other thing that's worth looking for that you can get. So it ends up, again, like you're always going to bring out coat basically now, like through Warrior. So there you go. This is going to be in your hand. This is going to come back eventually, and you can just bring this out. It ends up just being a free level 4. It's weird that it's not the main normal summon anymore. Like it seems bizarre because it's been like that for so long. But yeah, that's just how the deck works now. 1 copy of Ascended Sage and 1 copy of Arm. So you know you want to go into F-Zero, assuming your opponent doesn't have Nibiru, and so you want to be able to use Utopic Sage. Besides the fact that these are just free level 4s anyway, so like if you see them in your hand, it's like, okay, I just have a free extender. You know, that's really all it comes down to. This is a rank 4 deck. These are rank 4 cards. But of course, you're like, you know, using this for that Utopia engine, basically. This is the Node Ryzial, and then this is the new one. I figure by the time the support comes out, like I'm sure this new singular Ryzial card will too. So again, it doesn't really make a difference for my last like first video where I made that combo. Same end board, same kind of idea. 3 copies of Onomatopera, 3 copies of Pickup, 1 copy of Utopia Magic Force. I mean, I'm running this now, and you know I feel like it's worth it because this deck hard loses to like, I mean, at least this card, right? Fualos. I mean, you're running Ash, of course, for that reason too. But yeah, this is just killer, and it's really hard to play around. The other ones, like as you could see, like through those videos, were like for the most part fine. You know, you're still gonna have a pretty good end board through those kind of lighter hand traps, but yeah, like Droll is really hard. So like it's almost worth playing like a copy of Droll, so you can use Crossout Designator, or like maybe I should play more Crossout. There are some game-ending ones, you know. You saw one of them. I mean, the Droll end board was definitely like horrible. It's not good for the most part, but yeah. But this card in particular is just like a turn ender because you go into the extra deck so many times. Pretty much go through your entire extra deck like through your first turn. 1 copy of the Utopia Force, 1 copy, you know, I already talked about this. And then 1 copy of the Ryzial, 1 copy of the XYZ Unbreakable Barrier, right? Super easy to search, and yeah, very effective card. So here's your Utopia package. I'm running number 90, the Galaxy as Photon Lord, number 38. That goes with number 99, number S39, and then just the regular Utopia. I already talked about Sage. This is the new Gaga Gaga Girl. This is the Gaga Gaga Magician to bring things back. This is like your Nibiru card, your free special summon, reveal from the extra deck card too. F-Zero, Rise the All Detonator, and then this is the Duo Drive, Abyss Dweller, Tornado Dragon, super still kind of underrated, I suppose, because it's a quick effect. And then this is like the silly one, there's so many other cards that you can put in this place that are probably better, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty much there because of the Droll line. So otherwise, it's like there's really not too many options, especially because you can't search, so that's kind of hard. So maybe that one imperm, I suppose, like will come in handy, and hopefully you have a hand trap in your hand as well. Side deck's not anything like special. It's really just things that are worth mentioning. So obviously you are on the side deck going to run a very big Zeus package. So that comes with Zodiacs. It just feels like kind of a waste to have it in there now. Just because you're running so many hand traps, like there already is a chance like you're going to be doing pretty good going second. But other cards worth mentioning, right? A Saiton Knight, kind of a good going second card, especially now that you get a free special summon. If you open with this going second, you can just like bait out your opponent some interruption easily without normal summoning, which is important. Lancey is just like normal for this, uh, you know, format essentially. If your opponent's playing Dimension Shifter, you want to have that cross out target, and that's why I said like maybe you want to run more copies of this somehow. This is stuff that I wouldn't like actually have in the side deck, but it's certainly worth mentioning. Like maybe this one you would. This prevents your opponent from special summoning from the graveyard, like during your turn, so there's nothing they can do about it. Essentially, that could be obviously very very good. This one is attacks and attaches stuff from the graveyard. Kind of probably the weakest option for sure, but it's just one of those cards that I like to mention every once in a while. Super Poly is also kind of interesting in my opinion because it creates a level 4 monster. I don't think the other one is a level 4, but this would obviously be like a pretty decent way to start your turn. You're getting rid of multiple monsters, you're giving yourself material, and I like nothing in here prevents you from like first using this card. Oh, kind of stupid, but also just like kind of a silly thing that I think is kind of cool. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section down below. Other than that's going to do it for today's video, and I will see you guys next time.